We'll get started. Again, it's good to see everyone here tonight. Our Town of Jonesborough meeting. Should have a good meeting. Got some nice things on the agenda tonight. Some of our staff and folks won some awards, so it's always good to kind of recognize those folks. First thing on the agenda is our opening prayer, and Vice Mayor Dixon is going to lead that for us.
Dear Lord, we just thank you, God, for another day you've allowed us to see. We thank you, God, for manifold blessings, blessings that we really cannot count, God. We just thank you, God, for just all of the joy that you provide us, the strength that you give us, God, your abundant grace that propels us forward. We're grateful people, God, for the community in which we live. God, we thank you for the people that make up our community. We're grateful that, God, in that diversity, there still seems to be a sense of unity. We just praise you from whom all blessings flow. And God, we know that there are some people, God, even on this evening, God, that they're dealing with sickness. And we know that there are those who are caring for those who are sick. And we ask that you not only give comfort to those who are sick, but that, God, that you give strength and comfort to those who are giving the care. And that you comfort the mind and that you reassure the soul as only you can. And so, God, we just, again, have a lot to be thankful for. We ask that you guide this body in our deliberation, and we ask that everything, God, be to your glory. We ask it in your name, Jesus, we pray. Amen.
Amen. Next item is the pledge with
Ray Martin.
All right, Ray.
Please remain standing. Face the flag. Place your hand over your heart and repeat after me. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ray. Madam Recorder, call for a roll call, please.
Mayor Best.
Here.
Alderman Callahan.
Here.
Alderman Causey. Alderman Counterline.
Here.
Alderman Dixon.
Here.
All right, we're all here except Virginia, and Adam gave us just a beautiful prayer there. Make sure we keep Virginia and her husband's blood in our prayer, and as they work through some illnesses. All right, we're going to move right into the consent agenda. Alderman, is anything on the consent agenda you want to see pulled, discussed? Okay, if not, I'll take a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Sorry, Mayor.
Okay.
Pool 7E, it did not work out under personnel.
Okay. All right. All right, Alderman, you see the consent agenda minus 7E. I'll take a motion to approve those.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve from Alderman Callahan,
I'll second, Mayor.
second from Alderman Dixon. Call the vote, Madam Recorder.
Alderman Callahan.
Aye.
Alderman Alderman Dixon.
Aye.
Sorry. Alderman Counterline.
All right. Motion carried. Abby's been on vacation, so we'll get there.
I need a vacation.
All right, there was some really good things in that consent agenda, things we want to make sure we get approved. And you know, our Heritage Alliance is such a great partner to the town of Jonesborough, such a great addition to our region. You know, they've got some great things, planned. Taste of Tennessee is something that they've done in the past. It's going to be a great event. We got Constitution Week coming up that I think the Daughters of the American Revolution put on with that. They're great. And also the Heritage Fair is always another good event. So we're so happy to have those groups supporting the town of Jonesborough in those areas. think in there, just kind of point out that, we also appointed a new website marketing specialist, and I think that's gonna be a good addition to our team. Cameo was really excited about the talent this person has, so it's gonna be a great addition to the marketing team. We do an outstanding job, and we're just giving them some more reinforcements. And just added some reserve officers for our police force, so always excited about that. All right, now we'll move into our financial report. Alderman, anything in there you want to discuss? Abby, how's things looking?
Looking good, Mayor. Moving in on closing out this year, trying to get started on next year. It's just a really busy time.
Yeah, no doubt. Abby should have touted her horn a little bit there, but we did have, I always like talking about this every month, and it seems like it just keeps getting better and better, but I'm almost certain it's a record sales tax collection for the town of Jonesborough. And nobody wants to collect a lot of taxes, but these are taxes that I guess that you guys are out there spending and going through drive-throughs, but $215,000 is a record for the town of Jonesborough. And it's been a banner, really, I even say 2019 through 2020, things have just really continued to roll right along. And it's actually picking up steam now. We have a lot of people shopping local is a big part of it. We do have people moving into our area, but a lot of them are deciding to go eat at Main Street Cafe or eat at our restaurants here in town, Texas Burrito, Barrel House. And we got a great load that's continuing to get stronger and stronger. So blessed with that, and that allows us to keep our other taxes low when people are out there spending money. Plus, Alderman, no other discussion. I'll take a motion to approve the financial report.
So moved.
Motion to approve from Alderman Callahan.
Second.
Second from Alderman Callahan. No discussion. Call for vote, Madam Recorder.
Alderman Callahan. Alderman Callahan.
Aye.
Alderman Dixon.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next thing is communications from the mayor, and we've got a special guest here today. I'm glad he's here. We had a great event here in Jonesborough, and the county received a really important artifact back from the state that I think we deserved. Joe put on a big event and with some assistance from some of our staff, so it was a great day in Jonesborough. So Joe was going to get up. He got a special video from the governor he wants to show. And Joe, you take over.
Well, Mayor, I appreciate you allowing the little mayor to step up just for a minute. And a month ago, I appeared before the mayor and board of aldermen asking for a combined effort to put on a little event that the governor was coming to town. He was bringing some music and a deed book that's been missing for 125 years. Well, not missing. It's been in Nashville, and warning, don't ever send something to Nashville you don't want to see again. So combine that with State of the Day, and the governor chose, as you know, to introduce the celebration of the state's 225th anniversary right here in Jonesborough, completely appropriate. And I'll just say that the town of Jonesborough knows how to throw a party. It was not anything that I did. It was everything that the town of Jonesborough people did. Thank you for loaning Melinda to us for that coordination. Your police department, your entire team was incredible over the 2.5 weeks. We didn't have a lot of time to put this together, and it was a fairly big event with an estimated crowd of between 2,500 and 3,000. So it's awful nice to see people out without masks, and it's clear folks wanted to get out of their house. So an incredible tribute to the great work of the best town, the first town, the oldest town in Tennessee, Jonesborough. And so the governor just wanted to send a special message to say that they were incredibly grateful for all the support and can't wait to come back. And that's exactly what we wanted to hear. They were completely pleased from start to finish, and it was a big deal. So, in honor of the great work that Jonesborough did, the governor put together this short tribute that we'd like to show.
The oldest town in Tennessee, to be here tonight and to celebrate the birthday of the greatest state in America is the highest honor.
225 years was mighty good on Tennessee.
I certainly say that Tennessee is still America at its best. God was with us on June 1st in 1796, and he has put his great favor on this state for 225 years. My prayer is that this favor continue on Tennessee for the next 225. Downtown Jonesborough, welcome to the stage, Oak Ridge Blues.
So it certainly shows Jonesborough well, and from all the folks in Washington County, we just say thank you very much to the town of Jonesborough. You guys are awesome.
Thank you, Joe. Joe, thank you for the outstanding job you're doing. You're really doing great for our county. We certainly appreciate it. I know you're really involved in, with our water department on trying to get water out in the parts of the county that doesn't have it. We appreciate you, the efforts you're putting there as mayor of Washington County.
Thanks, sir.
All right, we've got a couple other things here to do. I'll also make a quick comment too about our Brews and Tunes has kicked off. We've had 2 of them now, and just like that beautiful day we had there with the governor, we've had 2 great Brews and Tunes where the courtyard there at the Storytown Center was packed, and just great music and just good great fellowship. And I think Jonesborough's going to have a banner year this year with events and things like that. So really looking forward to it. So appreciative to all the staff and really the volunteers too that pitch in to make all this stuff happen. So it's exciting. And speaking, and I wasn't on the agenda, but Glenn and I had the opportunity to go to the Pinnacle Awards. Cameo was nice enough to invite us, and we tagged along, hoping we wouldn't be bad luck charms or anything. But they left there with 4 Pinnacle Awards. Is that right, Cameo, 4?
We had 5, and then ISC had 1, and Heritage Alliance had 1. So Jonesborough did very well.
Represented our area greatly, so we appreciate what our team does there, and really the success of our staff. It shows up every day during the events, and really when people drive down Main Street, they see what beauty we have. There's a lot of people that thank for that. One of them is our marketing and tourism department. So that's great to see. Yes,
I'll
Lynn?
make just one comment. When you're at the awards, you can see all the other competitors out there, which are other cities or organizations. So really proud of what we do and what we need to continue to do. Although we're friends with everybody in the region, but it does show how competitive everybody is, to get these awards. So we went away very happy.
Yeah, Bristol did pretty well up
Yeah.
there, and every time
Johnson City.
Greenwood win one, I'd get a little jealous. I think our people's better than them.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice to be there and to see all the quality marketing staff we've got around the region, really. Okay, we've got another very special person here in Jonesborough that's won an award, and this was a statewide award. And Brian Tapp was our building inspector. He's following in the footsteps of J.W. Green. And he wrote this to us, and this is what JW is going to get to hang on his wall. He's trying to go through retirement, but I don't think we're going to let him. He continues every time I come down here, Jay's here. And J.W. Green has been the building inspector for the town of Jonesborough for the past 14 years, but he has devoted over 30 years of his career as an inspector. J.W. has been an extremely valuable mentor to me, especially when I became a new inspector myself. But he is also a very highly respected mentor to both new contractors as well as existing contractors who have been in business for years, not only within the town of Jonesborough, but throughout our area. For J.W. to receive the award of Upper East Tennessee Building Officials Association Code Official of the Year 2020 shows the asset he is to the construction trade and also the way he carries himself as an inspector. So we're fortunate to have Jay, and I think he might be watching tonight, so I'm going to hold this up so you can see it. Brian, thank you for that.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
We've also got some, I guess, brawn and brains in the room tonight. No, it's not Craig. We've got half one of those. Benjamin Ziegler graduated from the Walters State Community College, and Benjamin's right back to the officer here on the room tonight. Walters State Community College Regional Law Enforcement Academy on June 11, 2021. He was a graduate of the class 120, which was held from April 12th through June 11th. At graduation, he was awarded the Academic Award with a grade point average of 97.32. This is an outstanding achievement as it includes the total aggregate scores of all academic and practical testing. He was also awarded the Leadership Award for class 120. And if that wasn't enough of an accomplishment, he won the donate eating contest. We're proud of that, I think. Greg said that doesn't happen very often. I'm not talking about the donut eating. Couple of shots.
All right, let's get tilt yours down just a little bit, get glare on the ceiling. There you go.
It's my head.
Not off the rod, it was off the ceiling. Tilt it down on again.
Benjamin, you got anything you want to say to folks tonight?
I'm thankful for the experience from the police department to send me down to Walter State to go to the academy, and I'm glad I could represent the town well.
Yeah, we're glad to have you part of the team here. You got some great guys to work with. I was fortunate to have you. Appreciate it.
We've made an agreement that, at least for this month, no more competition, because he's cleaning it up.
Thank you, sir.
People like that, you know, that's why we've got an outstanding public safety department here. Greg and Chief Street do a great job in recruiting ways like that. All right, our next thing is Employee of the Month. And I want to ask Scott McFarland to come here. Is she here? Yeah.
He has it.
When I read over the nomination form, I thought, man, gosh, you've been busy the last year and a half or something. I'll let you hold this. And the team there, I'm sure they wrote a lot about you, and I don't normally get 5 or 6 pages of it, so I had to abbreviate it. Some of you've been very busy. But Teresa says, I have chosen to nominate Sky McFarland for Employee of the Month because she has gone above and beyond her job description, not just this month, but since March of 2020, when the McKinney Center had to cancel classes and began rethinking and creating ways to meet our mission, which is to provide educational programming to the community. Well, let's talk about some of those things. When COVID-19 hit in the spring of 2019, Sky was instrumental in quickly planning new educational programs that met the mission of the McKinney Center. Before schools closed, Jules was conducting a play program at Jonesborough Middle School, and I remember that starting. Although we could not complete the program, Sky was able to publish 14 poems that the students in the program created. This provided a way for us to celebrate the students' work and to showcase it to their friends, families, and teachers. This students' poetry post reached over 1,100 viewers. Sky developed an online Try It challenges where we challenged individuals to recreate works of art at home. The Jurid Art exhibition in the fall of 2020 was another hybrid event where people could schedule a private viewing or watch Sky's opening video. The Jurid Art video was watched over 1,300 times. These are events where we would normally expect 125 to 200 people to attend in person. Sky had to re-envision this year's MLK Day service. While we normally are out in the community doing a project, we opted to do an online program and a food drive for the JAMA Food Pantry. Sky received over 700 pounds of food for the pantry, over $300 in monetary donations. Outstanding. Keeping the community engagement up on social media has been critical during a year of limited visitations and physical events. We are hearing wonderful comments and feedback regarding all of our online programming, and we could have not done it without Sky. Even during a normal year, we could never fit as many people in our building as we've been able to reach online. As things return to normal, the McKinney Center will still maintain as many of these online programs that we started in 2020, all thanks to Sky, her creativity and dedication. Thank you. Thank you, Scott. I don't think we normally have all these awards, but we've been winning some awards even though we've been busy doing other things too. But we've got also, we've got a great water treatment plant. We've got a great water system that serves our town, but really serves most of Washington County. And we're in the process of planning an expansion of that plant, but we're going to have to. Much like we did with the wastewater plant many years ago to kind of be ready for the growth. Well, we're at that point now with our water system. And there's some requirements to that. And our current water treatment plant requires a Water Treatment 3 certification. However, as we expand, you're going to go to a Water Treatment 4 certifications. And we always like to see our staff go down there and get certified. And we were fortunate. The following employees have achieved the following. Luke Cole and Michael Kitchlow are Water Treatment 4 certifications, which will set them up and ready when we expand that plant. And Kevin McLeod was Water Treatment 3 certification. You guys here? Yeah. Thank you for the great water. A lot of people take that for granted, but it's, our water is better than a lot of other places. Let's see, did I get them all clean?
I believe so.
All right. Alderman, if you would, we've got a couple of things we need to add to our agenda tonight. One, I think you know about, was to add to our agenda the purchase of a street department truck. We've got the memo on that, and also add to the agenda a 2021 agreement with Sam Love for Music on the Square. And he's going to be taking over that. Is he here tonight?
He's not here tonight.
Okay. Sam, he's also, we're fortunate to kind of get him for Brews and Tunes, and really, I was there yesterday, and he's going to be a good one for us. He got out there and was entertaining, and really just great with the sound, and it's going to be a great addition to the town. And yeah, he was so good. We said, hey, Steve Cook did great work for us for so many years, and he felt like it was time to retire and turn it over to somebody else. And we were fortunate to have Sam Love kind of already in line. So Sam is going to be taking over our iconic event, Music on the Square. We're going to kick that off July 9th, and we're hoping Is he signed?
He is, yes.
All right, Trey Hensley is gonna be here July 1.
Oh, wow.
We're gonna kick it off right. So Alderman, if I can get a motion to add those two items to the agenda. Someone, motion to approve, adding those two items, Alderman Callahan. Motion, a second from Alderman Countermine. Call the vote, Madam Recorder.
Alderman Callahan.
Aye.
Alderman Countermine. Alderman Dixon.
Okay, motion carried. We'll get into those as we move to our agenda and approve them. Next item on our agenda is Alderman Communications. Alderman, anybody got anything you want to share with our community?
I do, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so recently Jessica and I were able to purchase the parsons table and the wood wraps. And it's something I wanted to do for, since we've been in town 7 years ago, and just right across from the distillery. And to be able to get that building and work with the town and take it back to its glory days, and I think it could be something that would be a real asset to Jonesborough. So we're really excited about that, and I can't wait to see. I can't wait to share the plans with you guys as we move on further in the process.
Thank you, Steve. I'm excited to see that iconic building and name in your hands. I think the community, the town of Jonesborough, really our community is ready to support a nice restaurant in there. Absolutely. And it's going to be a hit. So thanks, Steve. Gentlemen?
Yeah, I'd like to, as things are opening up, like the town is just buzzing again. The Makers Fair last weekend brought the streets were crowded. The Heritage Alliance has had its first two dinners on the ground to make up for the progressive dinner they couldn't do last year, and they've been sold out. The JRT is over at the Pawnee Cape right now, but they'll be back, and they've been doing very well over there, and I just commend all those groups for keeping things going and giving people a quality of life, which is what Jonesborough is all about. So thank you all.
Adam, you got anything you want to share?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now we're going to move into town attorney comments.
No report this evening.
All right, we saved some money then. All right, next item on the agenda is our citizens' comments, and if you're a resident of Jonesborough or one of our water customers, we certainly want to hear from you. So if anyone got anything you want to share with the board? Yes. If you would, just state your name and your address for the records.
I'm Carol Salinas. I live at 303 West Main Street. There's all this great stuff going on. This is kind of mundane in comparison. But will the recycle ever start back? Because I'm tired of hauling everything to that place behind Sonic.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we've got in our budget, we're going to have to bite the bullet and hire people to do that, since inmates used to process a lot of those recyclables. And now we're going to have to hire some folks. That's if our budget gets approved by these aldermen. And I think Glenn's shaking his head that we're going to get that thing started again, but we got to get the workforce to do it. Thank you. Is that right, Glenn?
That's correct. We do have available, or there is recycling available within town and the county. Unfortunately, that means you have to lug it somewhere. So, but yeah, we're looking at an alternative to the inmates and a solution in the budget.
All right, very good. Anyone else like to get up and say a word?
My name is Marcy Hawley, and I live at 114 East Woodrow Avenue. And I really didn't need to give you my address because a local, one of our aldermen on May the 11th posted a fiery a Facebook page post denigrating the town, denigrating the board, the mayor, and aldermen, and denigrating the citizens of Jonesborough. And in that fiery Facebook page, he posted if you are a loyal and proud follower of the THD, I ask that you send a letter to 114 East Woodrow Avenue, Jonesborough, 37659, and voice your support for our brand. Now that's my address. It was put out. I felt empowered. I know I was to feel fear of that. I know he took the post down, not because of me, but because of you all asking him to take it down. And the board in the town received an apology. Of course, I have not. But I felt threatened, I felt violated, and that alderman knows I live alone. So I just wanted that out, and I hope that one day he does decide to apologize. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcy, and we certainly understand. All right, anyone else? Okay, we'll move in now to our new business, and we do have two of the agenda items we added. Let's knock out first. One is to get approval for our street department to purchase this truck. Sounds like we had $18,000 budgeted for this truck, and we found one for $16,000. So it's going to be a nice little addition, I think. We're frugal buyers, so it's not a new truck. Like reconditioned, they sometimes are better value. Glenn?
So I can answer any questions other than anything technical about a truck. It is a 2012 Silverado 3500 4x4 turbo diesel with an Allison automatic transmission. Impressive, very impressive. But it's taken about 11 months to find a good, decent vehicle for that price, and so we're excited to do that. It's already budgeted, it was funded, we just need the board's approval to go forth and purchase it. The longer we wait, probably the faster someone else will pick it up.
Alderman, what do you say about that?
Move to approve.
I'll second, Mayor.
We've got a motion to approve from Alderman Countermine, we've got a second from Alderman Dixon. Any discussion? Call the vote, Madam Recorder.
Alderman Countermine.
Aye.
Alderman Dixon.
Aye.
Alderman Callahan.
Yep.
All right, we are now the proud owner of a 2012 Silverado. All right, next item on the agenda is just, I talked about the 2021 agreement with Sam Love to lead our Music on the Square efforts. Alderman, you got any questions about that? And address Glenn?
Mayor, I did issue a request to Glenn when he sent us he did send us the draft of the proposal. I would hope that as we look at the 2022 season, that we could, here we go, that under the general section of the contract, if we could have a statement that just reaffirms MOTS, or Music on the Square, as a community building event, and that it needs to, and that it should resemble, or that MOTS resembles Jonesborough's spirit of inclusion, something to that effect. In other words, I don't want to put a mandate on Mr. Love about who he needs to get. I don't think that that's appropriate or fair, but I would like to see some kind of statement in there that just at least shows that we, as the Board of Mayor and Aldermen, do support some degree of diversity in the, that we support diversity for this activity. I'll say it. Okay. Just a statement of that.
Alderman Dixon and I did discuss that. And of course, this is the 2021. We've already, I'm not saying that we're not diverse, but we've already gone forward with Sam Love and the band. So after September, we'll have Bruising Tunes finishing up, wrapping up their season. We'll have Music on the Square wrapping up their season. We'll revisit everything at that time and look at the contracts again, especially the Music on the Square.
But I think in the, standards of conduct, that's something I'm glad to see we're keeping that in there, that's something we need to hold, not just saying that everybody accountable for, that, works with Town of Jonesborough. Anything else? Alderman?
I think Sam would be a great addition.
Terry, any?
No, I think it's great. I'm pleased that we're gonna keep it going.
All right, so I'll take a motion to approve this 2021 agreement with Sam Love.
So,
Motion to approve from Alderman Callahan,
Second.
second from Alderman Countmeyer. Any discussion? Call the vote, Madam Recorder.
Alderman Callahan.
Aye.
Alderman Calhoun.
Aye.
Alderman Dixon.
All right, motion carried. One little thing, probably should have talked about during our mayor's comments was, I think Glenn and I had some communications about this. We've had the lady wanting to put on the haunted half marathon for a while. We held it for years here, and then last year it was canceled. And she's hoping to have that in Jonesborough again, and I think it's an event that, draws over 1,000 runners, and they come from all over too. It's not just our area, they come from out of state in this event. And we need to kind of make a decision whether or not Jonesborough wants to host that again. So, Glenn, is that something you often sit down with this lady?
We can, we've discussed it, probably for the last couple of months, Mayor, and between myself and Chief Street, and looking at the one that was presented to us that's before you, it has, I think it's about, for a half marathon, I think it was maybe 6 or 7 miles in the county and the remainder in the city. So looking at, as far as support services, it was a lot. The county did not, at that time, as far as the sheriff's department, did not provide us as far as that they were going to be providing support services for it in the county.
I think her intention now is to come back before you all, just go with the original route that they've always run, or stay just within our city limits. Is that?
And we'd be happy to work. I do want to say that public safety reviews it and provides their input. We do have to, not that we don't value their input, we do have to value their input. For instance, if they're working an intersection, and some people wonder, well, why stay at that intersection for so long? It's because once they commit to, if that officer commits to that intersection and to working that intersection, then they're what I call in service, that's where they're at. So a lot of times it's a little bit more time just because they don't leave a certain area, come back when the runners are maybe circling around or what have you.
Could be a slow runner out there.
Right. So, I didn't even know if anybody walks it. Does anybody walk it?
Yes.
Yeah. So they're like, that's like a 3-day event. Okay. But we'd be happy to meet with her, as a group and look at what is the best, and as far as the number of support services, do we have it available? The police department is still looking for additional officers, so they don't have the police power right now, that they're still looking for additional officers. So we have to look at those things. But yeah, be happy to, if Wednesday's soon enough, we can probably arrange something by then to sit down with Ms. Hubbs.
Okay, I think one thing we discussed in the past, this is when I think Hank was putting it on, was that I always had this issue with private groups coming in and we closing our street and we incur this expense, for securing the intersections. If there's, to me, there's no reason why we can't negotiate that our cost, but offset our cost, with this group. It draws 1,000 people. Hopefully there's a number in there that we can, zero out on and then benefit from the sales tax dollars so much. Just keep it in mind.
Yeah, there was a conversation with Ms. Hubbs about support services as far as police and support services as far as other employees, and an hourly that was very reasonable in my opinion. I think ours is $25 an hour for, let's say, police. I've seen other places it's been $50 an hour, but that we can look at that as well. But again, it's going to be also as far as how much support services, manpower that we actually have.
Well, hopefully they can supply some volunteers. I know they probably can't necessarily direct traffic if they can.
But we can all discuss the alternate route and see what we come up with.
Our hope is that maybe to make a decision with her, you know, yes or no, like maybe this week, and then bring it back to our board next month, and then, let us.
It's a good event. I've witnessed it several years, and it does bring a lot of people into town besides the runners who do shopping. That's why our sales tax, you know, because like the fair last weekend, we are a tourist town, so I think we should support it.
So what we'll come up with will probably, I'd be able to email, you know, just at least give an update to the board before, you know, especially if they're looking at insurance and really knowing if it's going in a positive direction. So be able to let you know that on by Wednesday or Thursday of this week.
We should have pretty good, I think, if they run the same route we did last time, we should be kind of our manpower. All right, thanks, Melinda. Melinda, you guys anything want to add on that? Yep, you
No,
good?
I mean, it definitely is a big tourism draw. I mean, I think when they did it in 2018 and 2019, I believe. They had runners, they participated from probably over 20 states. So it's one of those events that brings people in, they're staying the night, they're buying gas, they're buying food, so definitely helps with the tax revenue.
I was just kidding about the walkers. I don't think it takes them that long.
They actually have a timed limit, so if
Okay.
you're not done within a certain time, then they don't provide the street closure.
Again, Adam, we like to pull up the video.
If you say so. If you say so.
All right, next item on the agenda is discussion and possible action concerning first reading of an ordinance rezoning certain property along Moose Creek Road from R4 transitional residential to PRD planned residential district. Lynn, you want to speak to that a little bit? Recommendation is to approve this rezoning.
Sure. And we do have representatives for the rezoning. So as part of your packet, I gave information on background. I'll just cover up some of the information in that. There have been several potential developers looking at Moons Creek Road. As you know, we rezoned one, I think it was last month, from R4 to PRD. And one thing about the R4, and I know there's a lot of information, but that's, a lot of times with land use regulations, you have to hop back and forth between different zoning districts and whatnot. But the advantage of the PRD for called the development team is the flexibility of design that the planned residential district allows or permits. The interesting part about the R4, it goes back many years on when it was created. The corridor, the areas that are zoned R4, historically, when R4 came to be, much of it was residential in character, allowing for residences. R4 allows for what's permitted in the R3 in density, which R3 density is one of the highest densities we have. But the interesting part about it is if you're doing a commercial use within the R4, it permits you, there's probably 30 different commercial uses, from barber shops to small retail, hardware stores, bakeries, personal business, professional services, small clinics, medical, dental, chiropractic, veterinary, small office buildings, governmental, private, daycare centers, nursing homes, funeral homes, lodges, clubs, it goes on and on. Then there are some prohibitions like a gasoline service station, tower structures, car washes, hotels, etc. And there's some boundaries on what size you can do commercial. But the intent of the R4 with the commercial uses on Boones Creek, in my opinion, was to protect the residential character, the look of the residences. So in the R4, if you're doing a commercial, you're actually required to make it look like a residence. Farm Bureau would be a good example of one that's in the R4, and an early one that was looked to resemble a residence. That's the advantage of the R4. but as far as the majority of people, they're doing residences. So, rezoning came through and, made a recommendation to approve it at the planning commission meeting. The planning commission, and you have the minutes of that meeting as part of your packet, the planning commission recommended denying the rezoning to the Board of Mayor and Alderman. So here we are tonight. So of note is my narrative, my recommendation is still to approve the rezoning from R4 to PRD. You have before you some of the information from the development team that talks about what their vision is for that property, which is the Swan Acre property. Looks like, again, it's conceptual, so the rezoning can't be a condition, a condition of the rezoning, you have to do that, but it's definitely more information than we're providing with a lot of different rezoning. But one part I do want to talk about is what happens when the planning commission recommends denial or is not in favor of rezoning. The Tennessee Code Annotated requires that the rezoning shall receive the favorable vote of a majority of the entire membership of the chief legislative body, which in our case is the Board of Mayor and Alderman. So it's not just a simple majority, it requires a majority vote of the full commission, which there's 5, and my number was 3 needed to vote in the affirmative. Some of the things that were brought up in the rezoning, I know the planning commission, some things about drainage, which again, that can be addressed on the development side. There's some provisions for buffering in that district. The con to that corridor, it's such a large corridor, is the potential of multiple driveway cuts along Boone Street Road at some point. For a lot of people, road frontage lots mean I don't have to create a road with a planned development. I can just cut small lots and create these piecemeal approaches to residential, which used to be the name of the game. A lot of communities don't see new roads with new flexible developments. But that's where we're at. I've talked to the development team. We've been talking for probably a couple months. They provide additional information, again, on their vision of the green that they look for the property to be. And I just want to make sure that they're recognized to be able to, answer any questions or present their request in front of the Board of Mayor and Alderman.
Are they here?
They are.
They'd like to speak, we would certainly listen.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Jonathan Lewis. I'm a professional engineer with Highlands Engineering in Johnson City. And I represent Mr. and Mrs. Dan Sloniker, Dan and Ramona, back row back there, for the rezoning of their property from R4 to PRD. Dan is a retired local physician and Ramona is a local realtor, both of which have an impeccable reputation and vested interest in the Jonesborough community. We're very surprised at the previous planning commission meeting with their unfavorable recommendation for a rezoning. We feel that we simply did not present to them the whole reasoning and the character of our proposed development. And I'll present to you some of the reasons why we feel that it should be rezoned. Using the current zoning of R4, a total of 22 lots could be formed. With R4 setbacks, this would allow for a home in width of 34 feet. For a standard 2,500 square foot footprint of a home, this would result in a home that is 34 feet wide and 75 feet long to achieve that 2,500 square feet. This layout would also place homes approximately 16 feet apart with a 50-foot wide lot. With PRD zoning, 28 homes are proposed with 2 multi-family structures. With PRD zoning of 2,500 and 2,400 square foot homes are proposed, 48 by 53 and 41 by 58 respectively. This allows for a much more desirable home layout and 20-foot spacing as opposed to 16, and those homes are represented in the package of information that's before you. The community feel and amenities of a planned residential development is very desirable to many home buyers. In fact, the 24 acres just across Boones Creek Road from our property has been recently rezoned from R4 to PRD. That is the same zoning we are requesting. This neighboring development is much larger than the 8.48 development we are proposing for rezoning. We have conceptually discussed possibility of having the entrance to the larger PRD development lining up with ours to meet TDOT standards and to provide better traffic flow. PRD provides for more restrictive usage than R4 by not allowing any commercial usage, requires larger buffers, and preserves the residential character of the area. The current R4 zoning would allow for an office park where several buildings could be subdivided and other commercial uses. This development would be similar to the Waterbrook subdivision in Johnson City with very high-end homes. However, this community will have a uniquely Jonesborough feel, something that is very refreshing from my perspective to work with someone who's wanting to do a development like this. The home designs, the walking trails with the same Jonesborough park benches, the same Jonesborough street lighting, and the homes being a modern farmhouse approach. With the PRD, they will be doing all of the home building themselves, so they'll have control of that. There are no adjacent residents who are opposed to the rezoning at the Planning Commission, and the town staff recommended rezoning to the Planning Commission, and they're recommending rezoning now. The intent of a planned residential district is, and I quote from the Jonesborough zoning regulations, to provide optional methods of land development which encourage imaginative solutions to environmental design problems. A planned development permits design innovation, encourages a maximum choice of types of environment and optional methods of land development. We feel for these reasons that we have presented here that you grant us the rezoning from R4 to PRD. I'd be glad to answer any questions, and thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. I think as I was yesterday reading through the packet of the Planning Commission meeting, and I was reading through it, and we're really protective of our area here, and Boones Creek Road is one of the prettiest places we have in Jonesborough. And I can see where the conversation was gonna go with the zoning there, and then saw the negative vote. But I think if I was a resident, and I live pretty close to that area, and I'm next to an R4 or a PRD, if I had my brothers, I'd rather be next to a PRD than an R4, just because some of the things that could be added in there in an R4, it's not as nice as a nice home. So that's why we're here. That's my take on it. I really see that PRD that better remain in R4. So I don't know what you all think.
What was our reason for denying it on the commission?
I was there, in fact, initially voted for the approval, and then the big reason was because all of the other properties along there have big loans. But after reading this and knowing Snockers, I think this could be good, and I talked to Chief Street, who lives right out there. The big issue is make sure you do the drainage, because we've had a lot of problems with drainage in Jonesborough. Even after it's been approved by engineering and everything's fine, and then you get some big rains and the water goes onto other properties and really causes it. So I will make the motion to approve it, but telling you that the Planning Commission will look closely at how you intend to make sure the drainage is not a problem.
I just wanted to add one other, I appreciate what Alderman Countermine said. I did want to add that one thing we did talk about before was the theme of the development would be good neighbors, not just Mr. Street or Chief Street, but there's another property. So working on that angle, even probably before we ever get a planning commission for the development plans, we'll make sure that those are all looked at. If if the BMA so chooses to approve.
A big thing, I think we've always known the Boots Creek Road is an attractive place, and with our new school project coming in online, and we're gonna have more people wanting homes, and it's natural, they're gonna wanna, live in a pretty setting, and that's what Boots Creek Road offers, so at some point, we'll have to, make sure we're addressing, any type of traffic or congestion issue out there, and make sure it's safe, entrances and exits, out of these developments. Adam, you got anything?
I did have some questions early on and talked to the town administrator. He answered them, and so I felt comfortable. I think that I did receive some questions about this particular topic, phone calls and such. And I think that there is a concern about providing services to members of the town as the town is growing, which I think that I would say very confidently, it seems like that we are on top of it. I mean, we're talking about expanding the water treatment plant and solid waste and a few other things. So I mean, I think we're on top of trying to address those services and making sure that we can prepare for the increase in population. So
I'll second the motion.
All right. Thank you, Stephen. We got a motion from Alderman Countermine, and a second from Alderman Callahan. And, any other discussion, Alderman? Y'all think whether we approved it, to PRD or kept it at R4, we gotta be ready to supply the services, throughout our town. It's here and it's gonna continue. Madam Recorder, call for the vote, please.
Alderman Countermine.
Aye.
Alderman Callahan.
Aye.
Alderman Dixon.
Aye.
Motion carried. Now we've got a new PRD in town. Thank you, Alderman. Appreciate that. Next item on the agenda is a discussion of possible action concerning approval of a resolution adopting a continuing budget for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2021. Any discussion about that, Alderman? If not, I'll take a motion to approve that.
move to approve.
A motion to approve from Alderman Dixon, and a second from Alderman Countermine. Call for vote, Madam Recorder.
Alderman Dixon.
Aye.
Alderman Countermine.
Aye.
Alderman Callahan.
Aye.
All right, motion carried. All right, next item on the agenda is discussion and possible action concerning approval of a TDOT contract for the traffic signalization project at the intersection of East Jackson Boulevard and Tiger Way. Which used to be Smith Lane, but Tiger Way is gonna be the new road leading to the school project. And, yes, we're growing, so we're gonna get another red light. So, all right, Glenn, got a motion to approve from Alderman Countermine, Alderman Callahan. Now, Glenn, tell us about this project.
So this is, you've heard about it quite a bit, mostly the last time was to adopt the TDOT form that we were required to do as far as to engage consultants. This is actually the contract for the traffic signalization project. So once executed, both the mayor and the city attorney sign off on it, and then it goes to TDOT. Then the next step will be to engage consultants. We're hoping for Matter who did our warranty study to warrant the need for traffic signalization there. So we're excited for this project to move forward. Like everything else, there's a due process, and this one is one of the big hurdles actually getting the contract. I do want to say, I know Alderwoman Causey couldn't be here, but we talked before, this is funded through federal funds down to the state to the local, so, this is not a project, I don't say that we're not spending any money, but, we're basically required to keep up with it, and, the consultant will do much of the work for the engineering, and then eventually a contractor to install said signalization.
Very good. Alderman, any other discussion, questions? Got a motion to approve from Alderman Callahan.
I'll second, Mayor.
A second from Alderman Dixon. Call for the vote, Madam Recorder.
Alderman Callahan.
Aye.
Alderman Dixon.
Aye.
Alderman Callahan.
All right, motion carried. Last item on the agenda is discussion of possible action concerning the approval of a change order JRT-002 for the JRT Building Improvement Project. All right, Glenn, we'll get you up again.
I guess I could just stood up. Getting in shape for a half marathon. Yeah, so with any, obviously historic district, I think Mayor Randy said it best, we're first town, oldest town, historic town. So when you come across these projects like a JRT side of that complex, you run into a whole lot of needed change orders. And these aren't major ones, but we did promise that if there was change orders for the project, we'd bring it before the board of mayor and alderman. We also talked originally from the beginning that the cost of the project would not exceed $325,000. I believe there is extra funds if it does get to that point, but we will continue to keep monitoring it. These basically take care of those change orders that are made on the go. The one thing to consider, I may have to email folks, as far as the board members, is the no-brainer with the cost of materials, the way things are going, the lead time on all of our different projects. I will continue to keep you in the loop if we run into any other hurdles that need, that we couldn't wait till a month from now to meet. I don't anticipate that, but I'll keep communicating any of the change orders with the group. Craig, Mr. Ford has been doing an outstanding job, got involved on the project, and it's going as fast as humanly possible. I think they're doing a great job over there. It has been revitalized, so imagine the JRT back in production in their home, and we got the stage door, and then that will lead to Jackson, and that will lead into a future topic of parking for downtown, as if you imagine Jackson's 300 plus folks, that will hopefully be entertained. So if you're entertained there, and JRT, those are things just to think about. But the building's going very well, and Don Bacon's doing an outstanding job.
Thanks, Glenn. And if you're right, I know I got the chance to tour the facility with Craig and show me all what's going on there. It's great. Craig and the guys, our team do a great job. We renovated wetlands down there. I appreciate you all getting on that. That facility looks great. I know we're still going to do some things in the future. But,
The greatest thing that's happened at the JRT is I had some ideas on HVAC, and that's the only thing I can say that I've actually added to that project. Everything else, 99.9% has been Craig involved, and the rest of the team.
all right, that's a little less than 14,000. Alderman, what do you say? Motion from Alderman Countline and a second from Alderman Dixon. Any discussion? Call the vote, Madam Recorder.
Alderman Calhoun.
Aye.
Alderman Dixon.
Aye.
Alderman Callahan.
Aye. All right. Motion carried, so.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
There's several, I keep getting asked.
Yes.
Is there an update on the senior center park? And Lincoln?
Oh, Lincoln Park? So,
I have people ask me literally every day.
I think we started pouring some concrete, so we got a contractor for our Lincoln
Yep.
Park.
we do, Summers Taylor started with concrete pours, and so that's moving forward. We did receive our final reimbursement from Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation, TDEC. So that was probably in several town administrative reports that we were waiting on that final reimbursement, but we did receive it. And I should probably get an update this week, because the next due process of it was to issue us a second contract to finish it. So the second contract is basically for reimbursement of work that we're asking for reimbursement. But the concrete work, that is not part of the reimbursement request. So that's why when the board approved it, we're able to move along with that part of the project. So we're hoping, even with some inmate labor, which has been great for Jonesborough, there's a potential that they can be utilized at Lincoln Park as well. So Craig and I are discussing ways that might happen. But we are making progress. There is physical disturbance going on at the site. It's not idle.
Lincoln Park is going to be a great new addition to our community, and contrary to what people think, we're moving, I think, closer to a dog park. I think we've worked out a solution, but we're still trying to get the state to approve it. And have you heard anything back from them yet?
Right, I have not, I've emailed, actually made a phone call last Thursday, so I'll follow up tomorrow or the next day. We submitted an official request to have that original access to actually be approved. So we gave a lot of information, a lot of study into it. It was a team effort, just, you just sit there and you go, that's our property, we should have access, so we had to, prove our point on why we think it'd be the best access for it. That would, leverage, less funds. We'd have to do less funds if we moved it to the east side, away from that, because that was the original access.
Yeah.
We're hopeful, but, to be honest, I got an email the other day, I was like, I gotta take a break, it's from TDOT, it's gotta be it was another project. So stay tuned, I will inform everybody.